Hey guys, Kenny within the pocket here again, and today I've got an interesting little guy for you, and it's in the form of a Real Steel Metamorph. That's right, guys. This is actually my first front flipper, and I'm absolutely loving just the fidget factor of the front flipper. Um, yeah, so today I'm going to be doing a review, and I'll be doing it in the same fashion I've been doing lately of hype versus reality. And you know how I do that. First, I'm going to start you off with putting the specs on the page right here and just save us some time. And I know you guys can all get that online. So yeah, so that's out of the way. I'm going to do some size comparisons on this nice little slim EDC knife. First I'll bring in the kind of in the same budget realm. This is the Steel Will Modus. Really similar prices here. Well, I mean, this is $20 more on most retailers, but yeah, in the same kind of realm. Here's a Kaiser T1, similar size knife. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring in some Spyderco's. Bring in the PM2. It's the Blurple S110V version, and then go ahead and bring in the Delica. I know everyone's got one of these. You get a good idea of the size of the handle and everything. This is just a much slimmer knife and really just straight across. You know, there's no contours or anything to it, but you can see the blade length. It's definitely a little longer. And then I'll bring in another good one as a comparison because it's a nice slim knife with a very similar size handle and similar size blade and everything. Also very similar in the pocket as far as slimness goes, although even the 940 is a little bit fatter in the pocket, which is not by any means this is definitely slim enough. So yeah, so there's my size comparisons. I'm going to just really get right into the review of this. I don't really have notes on this today, guys, so I'm just kind of winging it. So if I ramble a bit, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but just to get right into it, the things that drew me in about this knife, of course, were the front flipper. I just didn't have any front flippers. I know they're kind of hot right now, and I wanted to see what it was all about. I just wanted to see if the front flipper was as fun and cool as everyone talks about. So that was my the main thing that drew me in. And then, of course, I hadn't had any Real Steels. I wanted to try that. I have some knives in 14C28N, but, I hadn't tried Real Steels, so I definitely wanted to try that. I heard good things about this knife. I also, it has roller bearings, and I don't have any knives with roller bearings in them, so I wanted to try that as well. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it. And of course, the EDC size. I like slim, well carried knives, something that's nice and slim in the pocket, and not too aggressive. Although I do have plenty of aggressive and not slim knives. This is this was something that really drew me in, and it's just so sleek. Looks really cool as like a gentleman's folder. So yeah, that's what initially had drew me in, and then in reality, when the knife got here, I was absolutely blown away by the action mainly, but really I was just really enjoyed the knife in general, and was really surprised with the function as well. Obviously, this is not a hard use knife, guys. Yeah, it's fairly thin stock, and it's just slim this way, and also I mean there's no finger choil, there's nothing here to ramp your hand from sliding onto the blade. So if you were ever going to be stabbing into something or like jabbing into a piece of wood, there's nothing keeping you from sliding up onto the blade. So that's not very safe as a hard use knife. It's also, I mean, on bearings, there's a lot of things that have, it's more of a gentleman's folder, EDC, just your basic like opening boxes, opening letters, cutting up fruit. Great for all of those things, but not exactly a hard use knife. It took me a second to get the front flipper. Getting your hand to like grip the clip and have your thumb do this, it's definitely not a inherent thing. You're not going to be like pick it up and just go, yeah, oh yeah, that's easy to flip. It's not. It took me about 20 minutes. I mean, I have really talented hands. I don't know, that sounds kind of bad. I have good hands. I'm a carpenter. I deal with my hands all day. I'm also a musician. My hands are like my livelihood, essentially. So I'm good at manipulating things with my hands. And then, so it did take me not too long, and I've already kind of, I don't want to say mastered, but I've really started to like get all the different deployments down. I mean, reach around. I can do all of the deployments I can figure out. I mean, there's so many little things. I mean, I started playing with this thing and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many fun ways to deploy this knife. Yeah, I mean, you can even do it like, just cool ways to do it, and it's so enjoyable in that manner. You can also roll it out if someone's around. I found that this kind of works good with your finger to just kind of ease the blade out instead of having it fly out. You can do it with your thumb too. So, and then you won't have people worried about it. So yeah, that's enjoyable. And then, it really is just an excellent carrying knife. In reality, the clip is fairly deep. About that much sticking out, but it's not, it's unassuming what's sticking out. People don't really know it's a knife unless they know what they're looking at. Yeah, it's nice carry, very slim. There's no flipper here, there's no thumb stud, super slim. If you hand this to your buddy, mind you, do not hand this to your buddy, or at least explain to him how to open the knife first, because he will drop it. That is one downside. This thing is pretty slick. There's not much texture here. So when you're going to try and manipulate this thing to flip it, it can easily get out of your hand. When I'm flipping with this side, I can use the clip. But when left-handed, there's not much to grab onto there. I actually find myself putting my fingers right there. It is tricky. You'll notice I'm not as good on my left hand because the clip's not there. I can still flip it out, and actually I find it easier to use my forefinger here to do this. Yeah, sorry about the lighting, guys. I know I'm getting some weird glow over here. But yeah, so I actually find it easier to use my pointer finger. But yeah, I don't know if I can reach around with my left hand. Yeah, it's a little more difficult. This one I can really grip it. But yeah, that's really nice, guys, how slim it is. And then again in carry, you've got in the pocket, it is nice and light as well. Alright, roll zeroed out. That's on ounces. 2.63, yeah, I mean, amazing. Really light. If you're talking like ounces to length of blade ratio, this thing is amazing. 3.5 inch blade about, and 2.63 ounces. That's stellar. So yeah, it's really got something going for it there. As far as the blade goes, I'm gonna go ahead and put in some footage here of cutting with the blade. The 14C28N is excellent. I've as a budget steel at least, I have noticed it definitely doesn't have the wear resistance of something obviously with a higher carbon content and more carbides and stuff like that, but it does work really well for what it is. And as far as cutting down boxes and all that, more than efficient for most of that kind of stuff. I did use the factory edge to just about dull you know, depending on your definition of dull. But yeah, wouldn't really slice paper anymore. Definitely wasn't shaving hair or anything. But it was still functioning, you know. It still could have cut boxes and stuff down, but of course, you know, me being, you know, sharpening my own knives and everything, I'm not going to let it get too dull. I like to go ahead and sharpen it up. And I also wanted to sharpen the 14C28N to give you guys a bit of a review on the way that's sharpened up. And yeah, as far as my experience with 14C28N, it is excellent as far as sharpening goes. It's very easy, really in the realm of like, you know, almost like the 8CR 13MOV. Just really, you know, burrs up really quick and easy. Takes a polish really well. Yeah, so, and it strops amazingly. Strops back really easily. So, it's for the price, it's definitely sufficient. I actually like it better than most other budget steels. And even compared to like D2, I mean, D2 is great, and as long as it's heat treated well, it can be amazing as far as the edge stability and everything. But it's just, you know, it like Super Steel Steve has been saying, you know, D2, it's harder to heat treat. So if they don't do as good of a job heat treating it, 14C28N could actually even be better. So yeah, as far as that's concerned, the steel is good to go. It's great stuff. And it's also very stain resistant. So, and like I was saying, the blade, for how narrow it is, it's very slicey. It does have a very acute tip too for puncturing into something. This does look a little aggressive to people just because of how pointy it is. But other than that, it's not very aggressive. It's just very like pointy, which can, people think, oh, you're gonna stab somebody. Yeah, no, not the case. I did sharpen this thing up to just about mirror edge, which right now I'm gonna put some footage of me whittling hair with it after I sharpened. It actually had trouble whittling hair. It really just wanted to split the hair, to be honest. It would not, I mean, to split. Yeah, that's what whittling is. No, it really just wanted to actually just cut the hair in two. It didn't want to split it. I had trouble splitting the hair. It just kept popping it. So, yeah, I mean, the 14C28N was very nice to sharpen. And I'll show you how sharp it is right now. This is just some of that normal paper. They print all this shit and put it on your doorstep. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you can hear how quiet that is. I can go as slow as I want. Let's see if I can. It definitely will S-cut. I'm just having trouble here behind the camera. Yeah. Very sharp. Go ahead and bring in some of that recycling paper. I love to show you guys how sharp an edge is with this stuff because of it is very hard to slice. Not for this guy. Not how sharp it is. It is very sharp. And just for good measure. Yeah. Very sharp. Anyways. Alright guys. So yeah, just amazing. Really, really impressed with this knife all around. The ergos are okay. Like I said, it's pretty much just a stick, guys. There's nothing to be said that's bad about this. The clip is pretty unapparent in my hand. I don't feel any hot spot from that. Only hot spot I really feel that would start to affect me, I noticed this in cutting too, but every knife, is this edge right here. It's a little sharp. I could even knock that down with like a file or something. But yeah, the channel's a little sharp. Other than that, excellent in hand. I do like this little notch right here. As far as it does work cool with the aesthetics, it notches right where this drop is, but it's also functional with, you can use your pointer to kind of use it for leverage. It is kind of nice, and when you put your thumb there, you really know where you are. The jimping is very effective, yet not very sharp. So if there's jimping, this is the kind of jimping that I feel like is perfect. It's not aggressive at all. It's just, as soon as you put your thumb there, I can slide my thumb on it, but as soon as I push down, it gets grip, which is what you need. There is a little jimping there too. I don't notice it being aggressive on your thumb. It is a little aggressive on your finger though when you're squeezing, bearing down really hard. You can feel that jimping a little bit. A little unnecessary if you ask me, because the lock bar is pretty thin, easy to disengage. It's steel on steel, so you don't really get any lock stick. But yeah, the liner lock is easy enough to get to. It locks up nice and solid. Definitely not gonna slip or anything. You can see I got about 50% there. Yeah, really good. And as far as the fit and finish goes and how this knife was put together, really, really nice. Really nice. The back spacer is kind of like next level. Really gorgeous design on the back spacer, how it has that see-through, and it actually lines up perfectly with the blade because of how perfectly centered that blade is. Guys, this is like a $62 knife. I mean, perfect centering. The way that you can see through here, and right there you can see that's perfect alignment with the back spacer spacing there. That's impressive. That takes another level of manufacturing there, and they nailed it. You know, the lanyard tube's integrated into it, so you don't have a big hole right here. Really done well. The lanyard tube does, hear it rattling. Very small thing, but it does rattle. And I bet you I could fix that by putting a little piece of tape in there or something and stop it really quick. But not bugging me. Doesn't really bug me that much, guys. I don't really mind. So yeah, everything as far as fit and finish goes is really well done. They did a really nice job on a $60 knife. And as far as going in and out of the pocket, this has a little ramp right here. It goes in and out really easily, especially with how smooth the surface is. Goes in and out real easily, but not a lot of ramp there. You can see there's not a lot of space for fabric. If you're going into thick jeans or work pants, which not really a work knife, guys, but when you're going into like normal dress pants, which is kind of where this guy should be, it's really easy, and it's not gonna fuck your pants up, and it's really nice sliding in and out, and it's just nicely done for what it is. So no complaints there. Yeah, I am jumping around here a little, guys. I told you I don't have notes or anything, but what I do want to show you on that nice mirrored edge is I know a lot of you guys want to see the thickness behind the edge, so I'm going to show you that because it is a nice thin stock on this. It's like 0.12 or something, like almost the same as the Benchmade. So yeah, it does have a nice thin, relatively thin stock. But as far as the thickness behind the edge goes, look at that, 15, guys. Yeah, on another level from the 940, because the 940 is like, I want to say like 20 or something. But they thin this out nicely behind the edge. Let's get all the way in there. Yeah, 17 there. Actually, I take that back. I think my 940 they grounded a much better. So I guess it depends on the 940 you get. It's about 19 right there. So it's getting a little thicker to the tip, which most knives do. And you kind of want that so it doesn't get too thin on the tip. Yeah, like 20, 22, something like 22, 23. So yeah, really nicely ground. The factory edge did have a nice even grind front, you know, from the plunge grind all the way to the tip there. It was nice and even, both sides. Very, very well done for what it was. That's the thing, guys. I really just, for the price, you just can't beat. You can't beat it, really. I mean, as far as the action goes, the way that these roller bearings work, and I mean, look how sweet that drops. And then for how thin and this blade is and light it is, I mean, it just pretty much falls shut. If this was a heavier blade, that would literally just slide in, no problem. These roller bearings are amazing. And it makes me want to try other Real Steels with roller bearings because it's another level of smoothness in the action. You feel a little bit of, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. You won't. You can almost feel the roller bearings like rolling. You can kind of feel it, but it's not, doesn't take away from the smoothness at all. It's not like phosphor bronze washers, you can't feel anything. Most bearings, you can feel a little bit of it rolling over the texture of the steel. But yeah, really, really nice. And as far as like, if you guys are out there looking at these, I would say you can't really go wrong for the price. Especially, I mean, even if you were just sitting on your couch, like playing with this thing, the amount of enjoyment you would get just from all the different ways to fidget with this thing. And I know, yeah, okay, there's going to be guys out there, oh, you shouldn't be fidgeting with your knife. Oh, yeah, I know, guys. I really do. This is mostly a functioning tool for me, but I just love them. And I know you guys do too, or you wouldn't be watching my channel. And when you love something so much, and it's also such a, like, you know, the function of it works so amazingly, of course you're going to want to sit there and play with it and admire your tool and check it out. And this is more than a tool, guys. This is like something on another level, right? Because I don't sit there and play with my hammer. I don't sit there and play with my drill. Those are really just, I'm going to work, I use my drill, I use my hammer, I use my wrenches. You know, you use those tools, your chisels and stuff like that. You're not sitting there admiring the way your hammer works. But these go to another level of, yeah, you're like fit and finish and all these things going into this knife. It is made for beauty. Yeah, there's more to it. Yeah, so in saying that, this knife is nice. It's really nice for the money. The fit and finish you can't beat for the price. It's excellent. The one thing I will say, well, I say the one thing. I've said more than one thing, obviously. This aluminum, it's not the grade of the 940 aluminum. I mean, just little, like, hitting it on little stuff, it dents a little easier, which is expected. You can't be expecting a $190 knife to be the same aluminum as a $60 knife. I mean, it could be, but they had to cut corners somewhere, I guess, and maybe that's where they did by just using a lower grade aluminum. But you can see little notches there in the aluminum and stuff. Really, one of the only knocks I have on the knife. Other than that, you know, they did a really nice job, and all the materials are good. I haven't taken this thing apart, but I have seen videos where they do, and it seems pretty simple. The screws seem to be decent enough steel. Everything's done nicely. This is set back in there, so there's not a lot sticking out. Just awesome. Just really good, guys, and I would suggest it. You know, the 14C28N does scratch up, kind of like, you know, I don't know, LC200N and stuff. But yeah, can't complain. And I suggest you guys go out there and get one if you can. If you're looking at them, just get it. You won't be disappointed, I don't think. It's really nice knife and amazing action. Great blade. Yeah. Have a great day, guys. Sorry if this ran a little long. I will be seeing you guys again soon. And thanks a lot for watching, subscribing, and your thumbs up and all that stuff. Really appreciate it. Have a great one.